She's got long legs and short shorts, but she ain't got no teeth. She wears a red bandana on her head and she smiles so sweet. She'll steal your heart, a very first sight should rip apart your soul. She'll torture your mind and waste your time and drag you down the road, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel.
Welcome back to the St. Andrews Jezebel podcast. This is your host, Ashley Feller. I'm a third-generation Panama City native, singer-songwriter, and I'm also a musician. This week, I'll be covering the local happenings for the upcoming weekend of June 11th through 13th. Then stay tuned for an interview with regional touring singer-songwriter Joseph Brooks. He's from Enterprise, Alabama, but he plays regularly in St. Andrews and most of Bay County as well. We all know that St. Andrews has been a fishing mecca for many years, so stay tuned for the fishing report from the St. Andrews Bay News, June 12th in 1923. I hope everyone is staying cool and hydrated. Make sure you've got something good to drink nearby and enjoy the show. And now for some community events for the week of June 10th through 16th. Join Jenny and Epperson with the Panhandle Stompers for line dancing every Wednesday at the House of Bourbon with music by DJ Danny from 7 to 10 p.m. Panama City Comedy is hosting a comedy open mic every Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. You can DM Panama City Comedy to find out if you need to sign up in advance or in person. The Salty Sunset Market is going to be at a new location for the remainder of the summer, every Thursday night from 4 to 9 p.m. until the end of September. The Salty Sunset Market is moving the art party down the road to the corner of 11th and Beck, which is the Native Spirit Museum parking lot. They knew the original spot was only temporary, and they've decided to create a Salty Sunset Trail, which is going to be a collaboration of merchants, vendors, and artists all along Beck Avenue. In the coming weeks, check out night art classes at Gypsy Beach Treasure Creations and look for fun extras at the library, who will be doing open mic events, and artists will be sprinkled on the back porch of the Slice House as well. Make sure you tell all your art friends this is going to be magical. The Library on Beck invites all you singers and songwriters to their weekly open mic and collaboration night, hosted by Jumble Juke, and that's on Thursdays from 6 to 9. And then Crawfish Fridays are every Friday at Barefoot on the Bay, and that's from 5 to 9. You can come enjoy crawfish boiled with potatoes, corn on the cob, mushrooms, and andouille sausage. For $10, you get 1 pound. For $20, you get 3 pounds. So that's quite a deal, isn't it? One of my most favorite bands, the Jazz Masters, will be at the library this Friday starting at 8 p.m. And then this Saturday, Flory Poppins, I hear she's got a famous cousin, will be at Oaks by the Bay this Saturday at 10 a.m., and families are welcome to join her for fun activities, songs, stories, and playtime. Each week, they'll be exploring beloved children's classics, including new and old songs alike, and making new friends. It's advised to bring a towel or a blanket or something comfortable to sit on. They'll be meeting in the gazebo at Oaks by the Bay Park. You'll need to look for the pink flamingos. And then when this is over, why not take your little ones for a tasty cold treat at Sweet Feed? The market at St. Andrews is every Saturday morning and opens in the lot next to the shrimp boat. There are a number of fantastic arts and crafts vendors, food trucks, and live music brought to you by Floriopolis that begins at 10 a.m. We all know that Father's Day is coming up, so make reservations or get your pre-orders in soon. Some great places to shop for your dad might be Dan's Pawn or Native Spirit, the Marina Store, and of course Sunjammers. They all have great dad gifts. Next Monday is Little Fest, which is a Monday night get-together at the world-famous Tap Room in historic St. Andrews. Local artists showcase their musical talent, and the bar flows with 54 taps. That's a lot of beer. Join Kirk and Friends each Monday night from 6 to 9 for music and drinks at the Tap Room. The Panama City Publishing Museum is operated by the historic St. Andrews Waterfront Partnership. Their mission is to advocate for public and private partnerships that elicit the interest of groups and individuals to promote growth, sustainability, and economic revitalization within the St. Andrews community, while preserving the historic character and identity of the community. Subsequently, the historic St. Andrews Waterfront Partnership operates the Panama City Publishing Company Museum and Visitor Center and also operates the market at St. Andrews and serves in an advisory capacity to the City of Panama City and to the St. Andrews CRA regarding projects, causes, and concerns of the business and residential community within the CRA boundaries, and there are free walking tours that meet every Wednesday from 1 to 5. Meet Ellen at the Panama City Publishing Museum at 1 to begin your adventure. There's a new exhibit on Janie's Fence, which is reptiles and amphibians. Check out the amazing snake. He's 24 feet long. I'll have more information about the artists and sponsors next week. If you're in need of a job, the Copper Tap Grill is hiring bartenders, wait staff, line cooks, and prep cooks. You can apply in person at the Copper Tap Grill at 1316 Beck Avenue. I bet all the salty dogs are getting hot. I know I am. Now might be the time to take them in for some pampering at Le Bon Temps, located at 1312 Beck Avenue. They are an upscale, all-breed grooming salon. They have a cage-free grooming option when available. They also offer appointments, and walk-ins are always welcome. One last announcement, since Father's Day is coming up, the Salty Hobo is having an event called Father's Day Grill Your Face Off, which is on June the 20th. All dads 18 and over are invited to participate. Contestants are responsible for providing their own grill or cooker and all necessary food to prepare their entry. The food preparation may be done before the event, but final grilling must take place on location. All contestants must be set up by 9 a.m. at the Salty Hobo. First come, first serve with available space. Contestants will present a barbecued dish, one main item, and one side item, and the judging will start at 11 a.m. That sounds like a great time, y'all. I hope everyone has a great Father's Day. That's all the community events I've got for the upcoming week. I hope you'll tune in next week for more. One of the best things about St. Andrews is that you can see live music every day. That's right. There is live music being played somewhere in St. Andrews 7 nights a week. Fortunately, my friend Ken Schaefer creates and publishes a weekly schedule for St. Andrews as well as most of Bay County. Ken's spreadsheet schedule is updated often when there's any changes. Ken also shares individual music events and is walking the walk and talking the talk when it comes to supporting live music. Not only does Ken supply the music schedules, but he attends several music performances a week and takes fantastic photos of the musicians. As a working musician myself, I feel blessed to have Ken and his wife Donna as treasured members of our local musical family. Make sure you like and follow Ken's page, Salty Sounds in St. Andrews, and Oh Boy Music on Facebook, so that you'll always know where all the live music will happen. Thank you so much, Ken, for everything you do. This week's Salty Local is Joseph Brooks. He's a young aspiring singer-songwriter from Enterprise, Alabama, who currently tours along the Gulf Coast, and he's looking to make an impact in music much greater than the songs he sings. Whether you're a fan of the oldies or something a little bit more modern, Brooks has something for everyone, including his original music. Good morning, Joseph. Thank you for being here at Floriopolis today. How'd you get your start playing music, and what led to you playing music in St. Andrews?
Oh gosh, the start of music was many years ago. I was 9 years old. So I grew up with my dad. He was a music minister at a church that we went to for 6 years. And so I grew up around music and was singing my whole life from the time I was a little kid and whatnot. And when I was about 9 years old, I think we put together some kind of fundraiser for, it was maybe Relay for Life or Children's Hospital. I don't remember. And I wanted to sing. So I got up there and did a couple songs with the church band. They played behind me and I sang, and just a cool experience. And so as I got older, music was an outlet for, I've been through quite a bit in my life. Went through cancer as a baby and had a lot of struggles, trials through after that. And that kind of all sprouted from that. And music was always an outlet to escape the struggles of life and things that were going on. And so for years I've been doing it, and just here recently started to do it in a manner that was in a professional way, and got connected with a guy who we stumbled upon this area and just fell in love with it. I've really fallen in love with playing the coast. I play a lot of the coast and just absolutely love it.
I really enjoyed your EP. Where was that recorded, and how did you find all the musicians to play on that record?
So it was recorded in my hometown, and there's 2 musicians on the record. There's me and my producer. He is a killer musician. His name is Barry Reeves. He's out of my hometown of Enterprise, Alabama. And he was just incredible. He put together all the tracks, and I recorded the acoustic and vocals, but he did everything else that you hear on the record: piano, guitar, bass. There's some accordion, just all kinds of things in it. And he laid all of those tracks and whatnot, and just really did a killer job. It was cool to see. For me as a live artist, you hear your original music as an acoustic guitar and vocals, and so you don't really ever get to hear what it sounds brought to life. And so being in a studio and working with him was really gave me an opportunity to bring that music to life, which was such a cool experience for me.
I enjoyed all the instrumentation that's on that record. How long did that project take, start to finish?
I'd say probably about 6 months from the time we started recording to the time we actually got it released. This was my first time really being in a real studio. And so for me, it was such a learning curve in getting to understand what I was doing and why I was doing it. So it took a little bit longer than I would have liked just because of my inexperience. I think it was about 6 months from start to finish.
That's actually a really good time for a first record. And I love your songwriting. I think you write great songs. How do you go about the songwriting process?
I guess every now and then I'll have a spout of like words, like some kind of line or something. And then I'll take a song and put music to it. That a lot of my songs have been written off of music that I've had for years, like little licks that I've been playing for years or something along those lines. And then I'll just put words to it. And so that's how that happens. Occasionally, like I've got a song that's going to be coming out soon, but I wrote a song and kind of dissected and cannibalized an older song of mine that I'd written when I was 14 years old, and took that and almost rewrote it and put it into a totally different form. So honestly, there's so many different ways that my music comes about. It's just so sporadic and out of control.
And so do you have another recorded project on the rise?
Yes, I would say right now we're looking more of a single release. An EP is in the works, but not in the way that the single is. We've got a single coming out right now called Florine. It's about my grandmother. She passed away in 2016. And for 4 years, I sat down and would try to write songs and just couldn't put together the right words. And I had a dream about her one night and got up the next day and wrote the song. And for me, like, that's such a big, we're looking at making it just a huge deal for this song, because that, to me, that song means so much to me. And so we're working on that one. And then we've got some other ones in the making that are going to be saved more for an EP, maybe an album release. We're not sure which way we're going to go with that just yet, but a single is definitely on the way.
I think you're smart for going about it that way, because with the way that digital music is progressing, it's better to release individual songs
For sure, yeah.
from time to time and hype them up rather than go with a full-length record, because the way that folks listen to music...
It's not the same.
That's right. You've got it. What do you love specifically about playing in St. Andrews?
Man, just the people. Like, for me, when people care about what I'm doing, like, that's important. And in a lot of places you get, people don't really care about music. And which is fine. A lot of places I play are restaurants, bars, and so a lot of people, they come to eat, they come to drink. They're not really there for the music, but what you get down here is people come for music. I don't know how many times I've had people come out and say, we came out because we love live music. And that to me is so important. Man, I meet people all the time. I really enjoy playing at a place down here called Little Village. And there's a lot of people I meet there that are like, we travel around this area specifically for music. And I think that's just so different than a lot of other places. Like my hometown, people don't care about music. Down here, it's just such a different vibe. It's something that I really have fallen in love with.
Yes, we really do have a wonderful community here in St. Andrews. This is my hometown. This is where I'm from. And Little Village, like you said, especially, they're like a family over there. And as a musician, it's very affirming to hear someone say, I came here to hear some live
100%.
music and enjoy it. And then you feel like, oh, I'm not the decorative palm in the corner over there standing next to the stack of TVs.
Yes.
Absolutely. If you could play any venue, anywhere, where would it be and why?
Red Rocks. Red Rocks is my dream venue. I've always loved it. I've never been, but on TV, I've watched some of my favorite artists there. And for me, Red Rocks and it's such a beautiful, just what a venue. I've never seen a place that I've admired more than Red Rocks in terms of a venue. It's like, it's just such a beautiful area. And like I said, I've watched so many of my favorites play there. And so it's one of those things where it's almost, if I ever get the chance to play there, it's that I've made it factor. Like I have accomplished that goal of being where I want to be. And I think I don't have a lot of physical goals in place because I feel like goals bring a lot of doubtful mindsets. But Red Rocks is a physical goal I have. One day I would love to play Red Rocks.
We'll just have to manifest that for you. I have some friends that they're a bluegrass band from Wisconsin. They're called Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.
Nice.
And they have played there multiple times now. And they just started out as a small town band, playing down at your neighborhood bar. So
you never know where music is going to take you. It takes one door to open to be exactly where you want to be.
And that's such a fun answer that you just gave, because I interviewed Tyler James a couple months back, and that's the answer he gave me. Yeah. What do you want the public to know about life as a professional musician that they probably are not aware of?
There's a lot of road. There's a lot of road and miles in between each show, but I'll tell you, it's all worth it. For me personally, music is so much more than music. To me, it's about the people that sit out there and listen to you, that care about what you do. A lot of people that I've had a lot of humbling experiences for me in this music thing. I met a lady one time, and she'd come up to me, and this was actually one of my very first shows going into doing this as a professional musician. And she came up to me and she said, "Oh, you played my song." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And to me, it's just a song. And she said, "My daughter passed away so many years ago, and we dedicated that song to her." And she said, "Thank you." And I was like, "I didn't plan that. Don't thank me. It's just how it was." The music business to me is something that I feel like is skewed and not really represented in the right way a lot of the times, especially at this level. You get a lot of hobbyists who do it. And for me, I do this in a manner that is serious as a business. And I run this in a way that I want to reach people. I think that people are super important. I think we're in a society that's full of hate. And if I can be any kind of light in the world and spread some kind of positive message, and that's ultimately my goal. And what I do is, I don't care about a worldwide legacy. I think that's for clichéness, but I want to leave a legacy with every individual that I meet that's positive and constructive.
That just warms my heart, and I think anybody who's listening to this will probably agree. I commend you for that, and I believe that if a lot of creatives and musicians had that mindset from the get-go, then it would really lead to a lot stronger of a community. And those moments where someone will say at a performance, like you said, "You played my song," I believe that that's a spiritual intervention 100%. That we're not aware of until after it happens.
100%.
It's amazing. As mentioned before, we've been talking throughout the week. You play all over. Where are you playing through the next week?
Oh, gosh. Here, I think my next venue around here is on June 15th at Little Village. I'm all over, so I really don't get to be in this area as much as I would like to. I play a lot in like Apalachicola, Florida, yes, St. George Island, Mexico Beach, Port St. Joe, some in Alabama, some in Georgia. So I don't get to be down here as much as I'd like. I think, like I said, Little Village on June 15th is where we're looking as next.
I ask this to all my guests who are creatives. What's your creative intentions for the month of June?
We'll get to play as much as possible and work on some more recording. That's what we're doing right now. We're supposed to get in the studio hopefully within the next week and try to work on some more stuff. So while I've got a down day, hopefully.
And some of those down days, speaking from experience, I know when I have them, it's just crash.
Sleep. Yeah. I probably should sleep, but then I'm like, but if I don't get things done, it'll never get done. And so it just ends up being a big mess.
Yep, I know that feeling. So thank you so much for being here. Folks, he's got an EP available on all the major streaming networks such as Spotify, iTunes. You'll have a website that's up and ready soon.
Very soon, hopefully.
Nice. For what you do have available right now, how can folks find you online and beyond?
I'm on Instagram. You can find me. It's _ it's the wheel deal _ you can also find me on Facebook at Joseph Brooks Music. And then, like she said, on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, all streaming services. I do have an EP currently out titled Stripped Away. Just search for Joseph Brooks and look for the title Stripped Away. We've got new music on the way, hopefully sooner than later.
I cannot wait to hear that. Fantastic, Joseph. Thank you for being here on the St. Andrews Jezebel podcast and visiting us here at Floriopolis. Till then, keep St. Andrews salty. We all know that St. Andrews has been a fishing hotspot for a really long time. Here's the fishing report from June 12th in 1923 that was published in the St. Andrews Bay News. For the past few weeks, the fishing both by the smacks and by hook and line has been good. The Flavilla came in the last of the week with 23,000 pounds of snapper and 2,000 pounds of grouper, which smaller smacks had full fares. Receipts and shipment of fish by all the dealers on the bay have been very good for the past week. Bass and other freshwater fish have been caught in large numbers, while city fishermen from Birmingham and Montgomery have had fine sport in taking trout, redfish, and tarpon. In fact, fish of all kinds appear to be plentiful just now, and both commercial and sport fishing is at its best. I want to thank y'all so much for listening to episode 33 of the St. Andrews Jezebel podcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for subscribing and sharing the podcast with all your salty friends. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm starting to make some visual content for the podcast, so I hope you'll check us out on our YouTube channel for videos featuring local events, music performances, and more. This project has been a labor of love, and I appreciate everyone who's been listening. The show was recorded by me in my music room. Till next time, keep St. Andrews salty.
Red lipstick, so thick, and a push-up bra. Tramp stamp, stretch marks, and a lacy thong, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew